And if you're making decisions based on your values versus pressure, that's a big, powerful sign that you are in alignment. This is the Mindful Malibu Morning, a space for conversations on mental health and wellness, self-development, personal motivation, and growth, all helping you to live a life full of passion and more purpose. I'm Casey Barneson, and I am so excited that you are here. Thank you for joining for another episode and taking the time with me, but also more importantly, taking the time with yourself. Today's episode is going to center around trusting the process and finding direction through values and recognizing small wins as a sign of alignment and that you are on the right path. Before we get into our episode topic, just a reminder that I am releasing bonus weekly guided meditations on a variety of topics. They're all around 10 minutes. They don't take too much time. There's a walking guided meditation, a meditation for beginning your week, and different topics to help guide you, whatever you might need. You can find those on the Mindful Malibu Morning podcast on YouTube. And I also invite you to join me on Instagram at the Mindful Malibu Morning. If you are enjoying the content, please like and leave a review. So with that, let's get into today's episode. Signs that you are on the right path, even if it doesn't feel like it yet. Hi, you guys. Welcome back. I am so excited that you are here. I just got back from a trip with my family, and it very much is nice to get back to home. And it is always nice to take a trip because you gain that fresh perspective of being away, and things that might feel heavy and big in your life feel a lot smaller when you step outside of your comfort zone and into a new space. You also get that quality time with your friends and family and just visually being in a new place. And so I really enjoyed that. We went to the mountains and we were by a beautiful lake, and it was just really beautiful to see my son play and my husband play with my son and us just enjoy being present in that moment. And then, of course, when we come home, there is a new sense of gratitude for the things at home and a reset, a nice refresh of, okay, I'm back home and I'm ready to dive into the things that I've been putting off. And maybe some of the things on your task and to-do list get smaller because you've walked away from it for a minute. That definitely helps with me when I take a step away from something. I often find things resolve themselves, and I can be hyper focused on a to-do or a problem, something that I need to fix. And when I step away, that's really helpful. The morning that we left for our trip, as we were prepping the house and going over for our house sitter and going through the different animals and the food and what they needed, my husband found the very first chicken egg that was laid. And it's a really big deal because we've had these chickens since they were babies. We've had them for about 5 months, and around 4 to 5 months is the time where they tend to begin laying eggs. But chickens are really funny. They need their own area and space to feel like they can lay their egg. And we have a lot of other birds, and it felt like they were distracted for a little bit, but I just wanted them to feel safe enough to begin laying their eggs. And of course, getting the eggs was really exciting. And so it felt very serendipitous that as we left for this trip, this chicken was showing us, like, I'm ready. The things are producing. The egg is here. And when I came back from the trip, of course, the second chicken started laying eggs. And after the trip, a few days had passed. So when we went down to the coop, there were 6 eggs that were in the coop. And it was a beautiful sight. And it just reminded me, I was so excited. It meant so much to me because we had built this chicken coop from scratch. It has taken us a long time to get our property set up to a space where we could build our chicken structure and the coop. And we needed to build a very secure coop because we're up in the mountains and there's a lot of wildlife and activity. So it took a long time for us to get the animals secure. And then once we did, we picked out our chickens and we had them as babies in a crate in our house with the warming incubator, and then transitioned them outside to the big coop. And it's been a matter of months and a lot of work. So emotionally, for my husband to say, reach in my back pocket and find this chicken egg, it was like all of the hard work that we had put in has transpired to this product, this beautiful moment. And it was a reminder of the balance between patience and effort. We've had so much action and moving forward with building and setting up. And then there's this moment where you've done all of the things and you just need to be patient. And in time, the fruits and the good fortune will uncover. And this egg resembled all of that. And it really got me thinking about signs that you're on the right path. So many times in life, when you are building something or working towards something, you can feel kind of lost. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like I'm overexerting myself and I'm not really seeing any results yet. And so much of that requires that patience and that pause between the action and the product. And it's a really delicate balance, I must say. This can apply to anything, to relationships, to career, to personal goals, to building an empire, to whatever you might be striving for. So I want to talk about 5 subtle but powerful signs that you are in alignment. So many times I am asking, like in my car, asking or journaling, asking, am I on the right path? Am I walking in the right direction? And I ask that in my career, in my personal and my family life. And as my life has shifted quite drastically, I've really been forced to lean on my own cues to know that if I'm heading in the right direction rather than external cues like validation from friends or from family. And it has been harder in the sense because I'm so much in my head, which is why the meditations are helpful. But it also has been very authentic because I have been forced to get quiet with myself and really dig deep to the core of what my values are and what direction I want to go in. It might be helpful to talk about 4 to 5 signs that you are in alignment, even if you don't feel like you're quote unquote there yet at the finish line, in the relationship, in the job, at the next step of your life. If you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling like you're floating, that's a feeling that I've always really described in the past year, as I've been feeling like I'm floating. So how do I know that I'm anchored? I might still be floating, but I'm tethered to an anchor and there's this ship there and we are heading in the right direction. So, one, if you're making decisions based on your values and not pressure. I talk a lot about values in this podcast, and I really believe these to be a very powerful anchor for you. Because if we're making decisions based off of our values, then we know we're making them in a space that is safe, that is rooted in what we care about. And those values could be family, it could be curiosity, gratitude, faith, efficiency, stability, peace, knowledge, wealth, creativity, growth, leadership, financial stability, belonging, resourcefulness, collaboration, honesty, spirituality, autonomy, community. So choosing 4 to 5 core values, and values shift over time. Values are something that is important to you that can help lead and guide you in your direction. So for me, a huge value right now in my life is community, building a sense of community so that I feel that support and finding like-minded individuals that are challenging and championing me to be my best self. So when I choose how I spend my time, I might choose to find a local event where I'm meeting like-minded individuals. I am having my family spend time with other like-minded families, and community is really big for me. Something also big that I value is meaningful work. So the work and the career moves that I'm making, I don't want to work just to work. I want to use my talents and really think about how I want to spend my time and how I want to share my resources with the world around me. And if I am to join an organization and work with somebody, I want it to align and be meaningful with the tools and the talent that I have, but also sharing a similar mission and purpose with the organization that I might be partnering with. You might be valuing travel and adventure. So you might be aligning yourself with that. Could be health and fitness, a mental wellness journey. So think about your values and write them down. And if you're making decisions based on your values versus pressure, that's a big powerful sign that you are in alignment. The second powerful sign is that you are showing up consistently, even when it's quiet. So this one is a little bit hard and a little more subtle. But when you have that time to yourself, or when you have an opportunity to choose something, if you are showing up consistently for yourself, if you're valuing health and fitness, and you are valuing also mental wellness, are you doing a 5 to 10 minute meditation in the morning? Are you going to the gym? Are you allowing yourself to turn your phone off and take a long bath at night and listen to a calm meditation, or enjoying a cup of tea before you go to bed? How are you showing up consistently, even when it's quiet and in small ways in your life? The third subtle but powerful sign that you are in alignment is that you are practicing patience and not rushing the results. Now, this one is really hard for me. I'm always moving, I'm always doing things. I'm always like doing, doing, which is why the meditations are really helpful. But oftentimes we are so action focused that that patience piece isn't in there. And it's honestly in the patience and the pause where the results often show themselves. This goes back to the chicken and the egg analogy, where for 6 to 8 months we worked on this chicken coop, got the chickens, and then we needed to wait 4 to 5 months and get them in a groove and be patient. Every day I kept walking down to the coop and opening the door and hoping there would be an egg. We were Googling, maybe there were different things we could do, but the only thing we needed to do was wait for those little baby chicks to grow and get in their comfort zone, and the results would come. So, where are you learning patience? Where are you finding that you're rushing it? Where instead, maybe you can turn your attention away from that action focused and find that trust and that peace. And maybe that's also journaling. I trust that everything that I have done is in place. I cannot do anymore. I am allowing the answers, the results to show up for me because I know that I have moved forward with decisions based on my values. I have had action focused forward momentum, and now it's time to practice patience. And that leads into the fourth one, which is gratitude. Gratitude and clarity goes really hand in hand with patience. And it's a great exercise to incorporate because if you're feeling antsy and you're feeling like I'm not seeing the results yet, a great thing that you can do is a list of gratitude. What are you grateful for? What's already working for you? One of my values is building a financial portfolio that is really strong for our family as we focus our career goals and our investments. And what I've noticed is when I find gratitude for very small things like that one egg, I found that it was really helpful when I was grateful for finding a penny on the ground. And an hour later, I found a dime. And that gratitude could be something as simple as that one penny has timed itself by 10, and now I have a dime, which is so small. Of course, a dime can't really get us that much. But I continue to be grateful for the small pennies and the small dimes because that is growth and abundance and momentum. So, where can you feel more gratitude and clarity? Write them down and keep track of them, you guys, because you'll begin to notice them and they'll start to build on top of each other. And that leads us into our fifth subtle but powerful sign that you are in alignment is that you're starting to see small wins. That first egg is now turning into 6 eggs. More chickens are laying. We're getting more and more each day. And that small win is building that momentum. I encourage you to look for the small wins in your own life, and you will continue on that alignment towards wherever you are going in whatever space that you want. And you will continue to grow in finding direction through those values and recognizing those small wins as you are in alignment. And those tiniest small wins can be the biggest swing towards positive momentum. Some journal prompts that can be really helpful for you as you are focusing on an area of your life that you are hoping or wanting to gain more clarity and alignment in. You can reflect on these if you're driving in your car. If you are more of a journal person, you can sit down and journal or write these down in your phone and just really just think about it. Give yourself the time and the space to think about it. So where have I been showing up constantly, even without recognition? What area in my life have I been showing up constantly, even without being recognized? For me, this is for my family. I'm not always recognized for showing up for my son every day and making him frozen waffles in the morning and getting him fruits and vegetables and playing with him. But I am showing up for him consistently, of course, because I have to. I'm his mother. But it feels good. It feels good to show up for my son. What values have I been honoring lately? This is a really great one. What values have you been honoring lately and already in your life? If it is career growth, are you on your LinkedIn profile? Are you making connections? Are you setting up coffee meetings with mentors? Are you putting yourself out there for networking events? Are you redoing your resume? Are you recognizing your soft skills and what you bring to the table? That's an example of honoring your value of career growth. If your value is travel and adventure, are you coming up with a new itinerary? Are you looking for groups of people who are also like-minded and you can create a travel itinerary together? Are you working a few extra hours so that you could save in your travel bucket? What are the things that you are actively doing that give back to that value, that directly allow you to live that value in a very truthful and authentic way? Final reflective question for you is, what is one small win that I have overlooked this week? Think back to the past few days. What is something small that happened that maybe you didn't really think was that big of a deal, that is huge? And again, that goes back to gratitude. It's recognizing the small things that are already happening. And when we notice the small things and when we recognize the gratitude, what we're doing is focusing on the positive, on the good, and the momentum. And with that focus will come more positive things, more eggs, you guys. So, what can you focus on that you have maybe overlooked? And what is one small win? And that could be as tiny as, if you are valuing self-care, perhaps you went to a coffee shop and ordered a delicious latte and sat at the table for 10 minutes extra by yourself as you organized your week, or you sat down and journaled. If you went on an extra walk this week, if you took the stairs instead of parking super close, what is a small win that you have already done? And that is huge. That is so, so huge. So I encourage you to celebrate a small sign of growth this week, thinking about those subtle, powerful signs that you are in alignment. And I invite you to share what quote unquote eggs are hatching in your own lives this week for you. So what's something that you're uncovering that you've been waiting, and it's this sign of patience and trust and alignment, and now it's starting to show up for yourself? And I encourage you, you can send me a DM on Instagram at the Mindful Malibu Morning. You can also comment on this episode and tell me what's going on in your lives, what alignment is happening for you, what values are you aligning, and how are you showing gratitude and building that momentum moving forward? It is always my intention that you find calm and progress and alignment. Our lives can be so busy, and when we are anchored in values, in our decision making, in gratitude, in focusing on the good and the small wins, your progress will propel infinitely. It's incredible. So whether it's an egg, a feeling, or a tiny shift, trust that your work is working. You have already completed the action. You are moving forward in a positive way. Now let's practice that trust, that pause, that patience, and that gratitude. And just watch what happens, you guys. That one egg will turn into 6. Those 6 eggs will continue to be abundant as you go throughout your day today. I thank you for taking the time out of your day to invest in yourself and for joining me. You can also find the most recent meditation, which is a meditation on starting your week and setting your week with a positive intention. You can find that wherever you listen to your podcasts or on YouTube or at the Mindful Malibu Morning on Instagram. Have a beautiful, beautiful week, you guys. Take care.